The terrifying truth about honey badgers. It isn't particularly large, but the terror that comes along with the honey badger is enormous. Maybe you've heard of the honey badger and have seen some of their exploits. Maybe you don't know much about honey badgers. Regardless of what you know, the honey badger knows it is one of the most fearsome creatures on the planet. It has so many qualities, it is built so tough, it feels like the honey badger is indestructible. At first glance, it kind of looks like a cuddly skunk-type animal, but we are going to tell you the terrifying truth about honey badgers, and why you should never try to cuddle with one. And there's one fact about honey badgers, we just know that half of you watching, you're going to hate it. Where are the honey badgers? If you're already worried about running into a honey badger, good. That is a healthy fear to have. But depending on where you live, you may not even need to worry about honey badgers. Let's check to see if you're even remotely near these animals. For one, if you live in Africa, you might be out of luck. Honey badgers run rampant across the continent of Africa. They're essentially found in every area of Africa, with the exception of the Sahara Desert. There are healthy populations of honey badgers in the Middle East, and honey badgers find themselves in a few countries in Asia as well, including Turkmenistan, Pakistan, and all throughout India. Maybe you find yourself lucky to live in one of those nations because you could possibly go out and find a honey badger to observe from afar. Or maybe you find yourself lucky to live somewhere else because you don't have to worry about coming across this lethal little guy. You may be thinking, but where exactly in those countries might I find a honey badger? Well, perhaps unfortunately for you, honey badgers can be found in a wide variety of habitats. They do prefer dry areas, but they've also been found in forests and grasslands. And they aren't particular when it comes to elevation. They've been found in low altitude levels like sea level. They've been found in far higher altitudes as well. For example, honey badgers live in the Moroccan High Atlas Mountains as high as 8,500 feet above sea level. They also live in Ethiopia's Bale Mountains, which get as high as 13,000 feet above sea level. Like we said, they aren't too particular about the area or the elevation, not as long as they have plenty of food sources available and plenty of areas in which they can make a home. Honey badgers will dig tunnels into the ground to make dens, and because they are such skilled diggers, able to dig sizable tunnels into hard ground within 10 minutes, they don't even need to seek out areas with softer grounds. They're also quite opportunistic, sometimes finding old burrows of aardvarks and warthogs, and also from termite mounds, and taking those over to become their new den. When they dig their own den, it usually only has one entry point, and it can be anywhere from 3 feet to 10 feet deep. So as you can see, if you live in a country where honey badgers are present, there is a good chance you could come across them, because they really are fine with a multitude of habitats. Best to stick to the cities so you don't have to worry about them. But that's not as easy for animals that the honey badger considers prey. Yes, life for the prey of a honey badger is tough. What do they eat? Now that we determined where they live, let's dig into what they eat. And it makes sense, because the honey badger isn't too particular about where it lives. Similarly, it isn't too particular about what it eats. They have a wide variety of things that they call food. Honey badgers will eat berries, roots, and bulbs. They forage for vegetables, lifting stones to see what's underneath. They'll even tear the bark off trees to see what lies behind it. And then when it comes to animals, it's been determined that more than 60 species have been seen as prey for the honey badger. They'll feed on insects, which includes them raiding beehives for both bees and honey. They eat frogs, lizards, rodents, birds, and snakes. And perhaps most famously, they'll eat poisonous snakes. Honey badgers don't care. They don't care that the food they're eating could kill them in an instant. They'll go after all sorts of deadly snakes like cobras, South African rock pythons, and one of the scariest snakes in the world, the black mamba. The black mamba is so venomous that 2 drops of its venom could kill a person, and they could have up to 20 drops in their fangs. And the honey badger, much smaller than a person, still doesn't care. Honey badgers have been known to attack domestic sheep and goats, far larger than them. They'll eat turtles and tortoises when they find them, amazingly able to break through the shells with their powerful jaws. They've even located lion cubs eating their kills and chased the lion cubs away in order to feast on the kill for themselves. And when they eat every part of the animal. They will devour the flesh and skin along with hair, feathers, even bones. We told you, they are not particular, they're also not wasteful. But how is it that a honey badger can just devour every part of an animal? Why so terrifying? So far you've probably noticed you've gotten little hints as to why the honey badger is so terrifying. All these facts about honey badgers can be unsettling, and the more we dive into them, the worse they'll get. But really, it's watching what the little creature does to some huge animals that is what's going to send chills down your spine. To recap, honey badgers live all over the place. They're perfectly fine with many habitats, just as long as one of the many types of food they eat is available. So no one is safe from the honey badger. Honey badgers first showed up in parts of Asia in the Pleistocene epoch, so they've been around for a while, and they don't look like they're going anywhere anytime soon. And then looking at the eating habits of the honey badger, that should frighten you. Anytime an animal has a diet consisting largely of venomous snakes, that should set off alarm bells. The sirens should start blaring when you hear that they eat every part of the body, including bones, because that means they can bite through and ingest bones. Honey badgers aren't large by any means. They have long bodies with a thick set back and short, sturdy legs. Looking at them, they don't necessarily look like a terror, but they are built for war. Their skin is extremely thick, which they use as a defense mechanism. It's difficult for anyone to penetrate that skin. Honey badgers are the largest terrestrial mustelid in Africa, but that doesn't make them so big. The males are larger than the females, and they're usually 9 to 11 inches tall at the shoulder and 22 to 30 inches long. Add another 4 to 11 inches for the tail, and the honey badger doesn't really get much bigger than 3 feet long. The males weigh 20 to 35 pounds, hardly the largest animal in Africa, Asia, or the Middle East. The honey badger is less aligned with badgers and more aligned with weasels. Then again, it's far more aggressive than any of those animals. It looks like a skunk, and it actually does possess a pouch that lets off a horrible smell, much like a skunk. It's been described as suffocating, and many believe that the smell assists in calming bees when the honey badger goes into a beehive for a raid of food. So the honey badger is essentially invincible when it comes to bees. That's alarming. It often battles with venomous snakes without a care in the world. Scary. And if we call back to some other things mentioned, like how it bites through bone and can eat tortoises and crack through their shells, it's because the honey badger has one of the strongest bites in the animal kingdom. The jaws are so powerful, they could almost never be dislocated. It is said once a honey badger bites into something, there is basically nothing that can be done to stop the force or reverse it. Moral of the story, don't get anywhere near a honey badger's mouth. And the most horrifying part of the honey badger is its confidence and aggression. When you watch them, you start to realize they will attack anyone and anything. They will attempt to eat basically anything. But worse than that, sometimes they are just attacking for the sake of attacking. They are territorial and defensive, so that's part of it. But honey badgers have been known to just attack animals, looking to pick a fight, and almost always winning. But it is about to get far worse. You see these videos of honey badgers ripping its opponents apart, clawing into them, biting through everything, eating every last ounce of its prey, seeking out fights, battling like a 3-foot-long warrior, and you think, how does it get worse? Because we didn't tell you about the honey badger's secret weapon, and that secret weapon lies within the domain of relentless and brutal. The worst part. You might be wondering what the worst part of the honey badger is, if we haven't yet mentioned it. You might also be wondering if honey badgers are only attacking other animals, or do they attack humans as well? Let's first tell a gruesome and horrifying story. Many people have noticed on plenty of occasions honey badgers finding human remains, whether dug into graves or out in the open, and feasting on the corpses. Yes, remember when we told you they'll eat anything? They will. They will eat deceased humans. So now if you weren't already terrified, wondering if this thing may attack you just for fun, you now realize it also has a taste for your flesh. Now, whether honey badgers do want to attack a human with plans of eating it or not, it doesn't matter, because we know they have attacked humans on plenty of occasions. It has happened. In addition to attacks on humans, they have also attacked several other large animals like wildebeest, zebras, and water buffalo. Hold on, those are some massive animals. Wildebeest can weigh between 250 to 600 pounds. Zebras can weigh between 600 and 1,000 pounds. Water buffalo can weigh between 700 and 1,200 pounds. Our honey badger at its heaviest is 35 pounds. He's a 3-foot-long skunk-like weasel, and he is attacking these animals that can weigh over 1,000 pounds. Animals with large, heavy hooves that could destroy a honey badger. And the honey badger is going after people weighing 150 pounds or more. Why? And also, how? The honey badger, as we mentioned, is relentless and brutal, but he is also highly intelligent. When he attacks these large animals, humans included, he will use a tactic called emasculating your prey. If you haven't figured out the strategy yet by the name, get ready to cringe. The honey badger will attack, instantly going straight for the testicles, attacking them with ferocity. And then once his target has been weakened, he then proceeds with attacking the rest of the animal. And once again, yes, humans included. You wanted to know the terrifying truth about the honey badger, and it is, in a nutshell, that he truly does not care. He will attack anyone, any way he has to. He will not hold anything back. He may be attacking with his mindset on making a meal out of this attack. He may just be attacking for the sake of attacking. His bite is ferocious. You can't stop it once he's chomped down on you. Let's just hope for your sake, if he has already chomped down, that it's only on your shoe.